Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Journey of Art series, where I talk about art, ancient structures, and try and connect it with the evolution of the human mind, the human soul, higher consciousness, everything that is connected to the journey of the human in terms of what was and connecting it with who we are today. So, every time, whenever you think about China, most of us, we think about the Great Wall of China, or we think about the terracotta warriors, thousands of life-sized statues that stayed silent under the earth for little over 2000 years. Our mind goes there initially. But today I want to go to another fascinating place that talks about human consciousness, I would say. Today we go to a place called Longmen Grottoes. This place is situated in the southern region in the Henan province, Henan, Henan province of China. And this speaks, this is one site that speaks volumes about the human consciousness, the evolution of the human consciousness, where mountains became temples, where the statues found over there spoke about devotion, spoke about contemplation, spoke about higher consciousness. If you look at the site, initially from far it looks normal. It looks like just just a mountain, rocks, and the regular. But as you start nearing it, you see you see with fascination the kind of statues that start coming closer to you, and you start getting closer to them, and you see the magnanimous statues ranging from 1 inch to 57 feet, I believe, approximately 57 feet high. Some of the statues are 57 feet high, and these statues are carved within the mountain, within the stone, within the land, within the landscape. It wasn't created separately. This art wasn't created separately. It became one with the earth, and the earth became one with the art, if that makes any sense to you. And the fascinating thing is, these are all these statues, approximately 100,000 such statues were uncovered, and all these statues were of Buddha, the Buddhist disciples, and they birth rather the story of what contemplation is all about, what meditation is all about, what the higher consciousness is all about. That is what Buddha represents. That is what his journey was all about. Prince Siddhartha, he could not see suffering. So he went in search of answers and became the Buddha. This journey of Gautam Buddha has um, transcended. It has transcended generations, years, to elevating I would say, elevating the suffering, connecting it with contemplation, trying to reach higher consciousness. I don't know, but this is how it is. Whenever I think of Buddhism, all I think about is they are the most peace loving people, and immediately connected with meditation. That is the journey, that is the power of this silent community of Buddhists. And we can see it is evident in this site, these big statues of Buddha. They speak about stillness, they speak about, they create a balance, I would say, between scale and stillness. The larger the statues, one would be fascinated, intimidated, I don't know. There could be mixed emotions, but at the same time, when you see a repetition of statues, These were constructed, I think, over a span of 650 years. Four different phases, dynasty, changes of the dynasties. So there is a great history in these centuries. But the common binding factor was the artisans who understood that balance between the grandiosity, between the scale and the stillness. It does not matter. Generation after generation, generation after generation, it did not matter. The dynasty changed, it did not matter. The artisans created. If you look at a big statue, it's not one artisan who created that statue. It took multiple people, hundreds and thousands of artisans. So one could be a creation, but over time, over time, repeating this kind of artwork again and again I can say it's devotion. Had it been something else, maybe it was just someone was just carving maybe flowers, then that spoke of a different story. But these were specifically of Buddha, his disciples. So this speaks about devotion. So many artisans creating repetitively one statue after the other, after the other, after the other, 1 inch tall to 57 feet. It doesn't matter. They didn't think of the size or anything else, but it was the same subject repeated over centuries. That speaks of devotion. That speaks of devotion that has brought about stillness, balance, and that is what Buddhism is all about: balance, temperance, yin and yang, however you want to think about it. And that was the fascinating, that is just, it's not fascinating, it's just an eye opener, I would say. This is one of the sites where art art came from the land. You know, all over the world, art has been created by external objects, subjects, sites. Monumental sites were constructed. I've spoken about them before. Civilizations, from how they grew from a small community of people to how they started getting larger. The spiritual aspect of it, from the Jericho site, the site of Kukuteni Tripilia, there's speak so many different stories. But this one particular hits you in the face, that talks about the human consciousness in such a way that you cannot ignore it. You cannot look away, you cannot make excuses, you cannot run away, deny any of those things. It's there, it's in your face. And it has been for centuries. It took so much devotion that you will feel the energy. Instead of running away, you will end up embracing that energy. That is how um, powerful the energy of this site is. And I found that I found this is getting me closer to expressing the journey of a human soul, from what we used to be, from the caves till where we are today. This is just the beginning, and I wanted to share that with you. So I would say thank you for staying with me on this journey, and let's see what I come up with next.